Hello, it's me. I'm back. I'm here to share an update. Yes, my profile. I want to get to it. Yeah, okay. I'm sharing my my online official profile. I'm excited, and I hope that you find this particular. It will be a very brief broadcast, and of course, this is a recording. But if you're interested in knowing a little bit about me and what I do, I am going to share that now. So again, this is my official online profile. So, I am Isaiah Reed, as you can tell. I you can see a nice deck of tarot card. I love this image. I just had I got the image in my head and I said, I hope this is going to look like exactly the way that I pictured it. And well, this is what I saw in my mind. So I'm very happy about that. So again, I am Isaiah Reed. First of all, I'd like to begin with my location. I am uh, within the United States of America. I reside in North Dakota. Yes, very, very, very great, wonderful, awesome, cold, but amazing. It's beautiful at this time of year. Lots and lots of snow, but I'm enjoying it. So, yeah. By the way, it, in the future, if you're wondering, well, when was this broadcast, um, presented? Yes, December. And also, with that said, stated happy holidays. On my qualifications, I love astrology, and I am very experienced in astrology. I am a clairvoyant. I would say that is my natural go-to, and so that seems to be the root, and then other elements come to play as needed. But clairvoyancy, I would say, is the natural ability that I gravitate towards. I am a master tarot card reader. I feel like that deserves an asterisk with it. I love the tarot. So if you visit or take a journey through the site, walking through the site, you will see traces of tarot cards, symbols, things of that nature. That's all of my interests right there in a nutshell. So this is another interesting fact about me. I think that most people may have suspected it who work with me, but since this is my very own personal profile, I can openly share this, and I believe that it is fitting. I am a metaphysical practitioner. Well, it says metaphysical practices, both ordained and a degree holder. So it just means that I am ordained. So yes, I do work with. Sometimes I have clients, and they have different questions that sometimes are it's within the scope of for a psychic question, but it's not always where it deserves a direct answer, so to speak, as it may pertain to a spiritual journey. And so, as an ordained metaphysical minister, I am allowed to journey or embark in that path with whoever like the client who I'm working with. So if you are on a spiritual journey and you're working with different ideas, that's what I'm well, yes, that's what I typically do as those questions come up. So I have to say, sometimes it seems like there's a dividing line between metaphysical practices and straight out psychic, it's the psychic stuff, like the psychic reading. Just read me, But I think that they tend to blend because I even try to stay on point with just being the psychic and delivering my psychic answers. But then somewhere along the lines, people have metaphysical in nature questions and or want advice from the practitioner side of what I do in my profession. So I do that, and then of course the degree holder is yes, I am just an avid reader. I study, and yes, there is a school, University of Metaphysical Sciences. So yes, very very popular with people who enjoy spiritual thought, metaphysics, new thought, things like that. That's what I'm into. So yes, I have that, and this yes, here lately I've needed to share that more often than I ever would have, because most of the time we're relying strictly on my ability to read clairvoyantly or as a psychic or my interpretation of astrology. The next thing is, oh yeah, another added feature. Why you might say, well, why is it that you're? I tend to be more well-rounded, I guess, than let's say, average psychic. Now that's not. Now I'm not comparing, but I'm just saying I tend to get around, and the reason why is I am ordained to operate in all of the 50 states of America. So as an ordained metaphysical practitioner, an ordained minister, I am not restricted to just one state. I can operate in all of the states, and also I can become compliant to work with countries outside of the USA. So yes, international clients are always welcomed. Okay, so if you're international and you say, I'm good," we have because you know what, a lot of places on like other countries, they are big into metaphysical practitioners. Like they get their businesses like insured, it gets certified. So they're a little bit more, I would say, farther along. We're getting there. We have clinics. We have what we call we have different holistic clinics where we combine the metaphysical practitioner stuff with the actual clinical or medical practitioners, and then they both sides are participating, and then hence the holistic clinic is born. So yes, we do it in our own way, and yes, we do it with a style. So I love both ideas. Very progressive stuff. I have a feeling that so much more is on the way, and I can't wait to see what they do with it next, entering into 2020. So the last but not least, psychic. As you can tell, the computer naturally orders everything in alphabetical order. So yes, I am a outright psychic. So psychic, has many connotations, but in my spiritual dictionary, when it's defined, it talks a lot about the psychic service. So I deal with the service of the psychic, and I answer questions about, or it could be about many things. Psychic can mean sometimes interpreting someone's thoughts without them understanding what they know what they're feeling, but they may need to think about what they want to say. And so as a psychic, I can relate to what people are wanting to say, and sometimes the words they're just not there. And so I can guide, sometimes I can state exactly for what it is, and they get it. We understand each other very well. So I just wanted to go through this. I'm just going to read through this very quickly. I promise I'm not going to Well, I probably am going to stop and elaborate. Maybe. Okay, so the first line says, I provide in contact, working with my guides, the answers and advice clients are seeking. So yes, I like to work with guides. When I'm working with someone and they ask, well, how do you get your answers? I'm going to probably say, I work with my guides. And usually I say that because I'm so used to being on a time clock, it's just easier to say I'm working with my guides, which is true. I love the angels and I love the guides. So, um, and I love finding answers and channeling the best advice for my clients who are seeking that kind of psychic reading. So it says, welcome guests. Yes, you all are guests. And yes, and welcome. Greetings. So the answers clients are seeking many times come from a spiritual and psychic space. Spiritual and psychic space. So I like to say spiritual because I know that people are more and more reinventing of like yes, they are redefining what exactly spiritual is. And so I could have very well said ideas from a place of ideas. I could have, but I chose spiritual. Um, I understand that everyone who contacts me are not always religious, spiritual, or even a believer in anything other than what they can accomplish through themselves. In essence, that is what a psychic is. A psychic isn't a religion. Yes, there are essays that are written, psychicism versus mysticism. So now I tend to go into crossing over into the mysticism, walking the bridge as a psychic for a psychic. But I can work with someone who they are defining or gauging their life based on what they're going to do. So can I be logical and practical? Yes. Now, in my personal viewpoints, I believe that for me, spiritual is also logical for me. And so, and when I say spiritual is also logical, I mean, I consider common sense and also the practical way, for living life to be contributed to a practice presented by me, regardless if I'm literally the only one who cares about my own personal journey. For me, I like to call it spiritual, but that doesn't mean I cannot own the fact that I'm the one producing. I'm the one that has to, coordinate my way throughout the day. No one else. I can't rely on anyone else. I can't blame anyone else for what is to come, and in front of my journey. That has every bit to do with my actions and the way I react to the world around me. So I'm not denying that. Okay, so that's so spiritual. It's a very interesting word. It is. So and a psychic place. So they usually contact me from a spiritual or place of ideas and psychic place. Because yes, sometimes I speak with people who are indeed psychic themselves. So and that is where I focus my gifts and tools. All right? So I have a natural connection to work with the guides and angels, along with my favorite tools, the tarot and astrology knowledge. Knowledge. I love seeking for knowledge. I quest for it. And I try to incorporate it into the reading only if it is suggested by, from the clients themselves. Because usually clients are nice. They'll say, at this time, is there anything you would like to share? Your personal thoughts, feelings, you know, anything else other than what I've given? Or if I'm missing something, I want to know. If there's something I should have asked, please, inform me now. So I love the idea when I am permitted to share knowledge because I like to give the tools or the cards, so to speak, to the client because then they can decide for themselves, through freedom, liberty, and with the justice, to bring about their own will into the equation. Yeah, so with the freedom, they can have mastery over their own destiny. So I do enjoy that. Yes, sharing knowledge. But being a psychic reader, regardless of the tool, regardless of the nature of the ability, is stating exactly what I see. And I have to state that clearly, in fact, and it has to be where you can, if you write it down, it's going to be legible. You're going to be able to read it yourselves. You're going to have understanding. This is what it is. This is what I see, and now you know. So that's what I believe what a psychic is supposed to do. Now, while I'm at it, I might as well talk about predictions. Predictions for me, when I make a prediction, which I do make predictions, because I also believe that's what a psychic can do, is to predict what is to come, hence the future, right? So in the future, sometimes I'm speaking in the future space. I know that some people, they can read the past. Some people are really good with understanding what's in front of them in the moment, in the present. But then there's a beautiful ability to see what's to come. And so I love to share because that's really when, like, sometimes we need more than, okay, so this is going to happen. There's always a question of why. Like, people ask when you enter into metaphysical studies, the first question that comes up is like understanding the relationship between men and women and our individual, like our individual selves, our life, our existence. And in fact, there's from the very beginning, metaphysics was specifically debated by philosophers for that very reason. This is what metaphysics would be, like a science or a process for a person to study themselves, their minds, but particularly their mind. So the next one is the best experience I have had to happen for me working with clients has always been to help them find intuitive answers. Well, anyone can tell you how overwhelming sometimes it can be to go with your intuition. And I find that many beautiful people come and experience their psychic reading with me to connect intuition with meaningful advice. So that for me, that resonated when I was writing this out. It's because when I say beautiful people, their spirit is filled with expectation, light, curiosity. But no, I'm not talking about curiosity because I am a mystical thing. No, not because I'm a psychic who is reading their mind. I mean, in their life, what they are doing with their life, their time, and what they're going to do to improve their household, their relationships with their spouse, their successful interaction with coworkers and bosses and employees, and more. Yes, and more. So that's why I refer to them as such. Okay, so the next one is meaningful advice, sometimes spiritual. Yes, so there was a intuition with meaningful advice, comma, sometimes spiritual, which we talked about that up there. Because yes, people from the secular world, they're the ones who are actually coming to speak with me. Or people that are spiritual, either spiritual or they are advisors, psychic themselves, and they just want to talk. They want to talk and they feel great. So, yes, and as they're interacting with me, they want to feel as though that they're responsible for the outcome, their future outcome, and they wish to take control. So assisting those to have or to have or to gain control over their lives, whatever journey they're embarking on, creative ones as well as intellectual pursuits. I value the experience others will find in my readings and take for themselves, which is establishing a friendly relationship and conversation they understand from a psychic. So yes, though I'm a psychic, I like our conversations to be friendly, cordial, right? To the least, cordial, at least cordial. And definitely a conversation. That means a conversation is I understand you, you understand me. We're both adults. Yes, oh yeah, adults only, by the way. Yes, we're both adults, but that also means that we can talk about adult things and we can have a conversation. And yes, we can understand each other. I can understand you. You can understand me. And if we need to, say, well, hey, let's try a different way, or let's say things this way. That can be accomplished, and that's the perk of being mature. So I like my readings. I want my readings to be mature readings. Mature readings. So the tool I use most, definitely, yes, the tarot cards, is the tarot. Tarot cards, in fact. I love tarot, as you could tell. I really do. Good fortune is on everyone's mind, all across the board. Even for me, all right? even psychics, even I love good fortune. Spiritual people, wealthy people, people who are just students. We all think about good fortune, and it is not unusual for anyone to ask about money. Oh, by the way, money is spiritual. Yes, good fortune is on everyone's mind. And it is not unusual for anyone to ask about money or success within a career or starting a new one. Yes, psychic readings are high for attracting the winning spirit, as well as having another set eyes looking at what's up ahead and predict the future. So, if you are on a journey and you're trying to figure out, some plans, sometimes people want to know, because I sort of profile businesses as well as people, so if you have, if you're trying the dating scene, or if you are trying to see which directions to go with a company, I profile them and read them. And yes, it's lovely. So I enjoy it, and we'll do it for you. We'll do it for you. Astrology is a favorite of mine. Yes, I love astrology too. I combine astrology with my tarot reading sometimes. So astrology is is a favorite of mine, and I usually prepare charts before certain times of the year or customize for a client's specified needs, which we set up a time on the schedule to interpret together. So yeah, so the charts, if you wanted a customized personal chart and you want me to be sort of the sounding board for you, but I can also email the details of your chart to you as well. And if you do happen to work with me one on one, well, you can ask me right then and there certain things pertaining to your birth chart, or the chart of your business, or the chart of a particular date you intend to do an event of sorts, or go out on a date, or so all across the board. So yes, we love astrology here. Many times people have asked me, so what information do I have from my astrological Akasha charts? He goes, I will always be open to sharing my star findings and give my best advice for productivity, for productively working around the celestial energies. So what I'm saying there is, generally I like doing videos. You could tell. I love doing videos where I'm talking about things going on around us, and the what the planets, the stars themselves, how they represent these events. So those are always fun for educational purposes, of course. Ah, oh, one more thing. I have my own little quote. I I think that this is maybe it's a mission. Maybe it's my mission statement. Well, I feel like it's a statement, but here it goes. Uh, Within my psychic readings, I strive for accurate predictions. Psychic Isaiah Isaac. Those are my words. And also included my own little disclaimer. This website is strictly for educational and spiritual exploration of meaningful content purposes only. Psychic phone readings, live webinar events, and recorded educational metaphysical videos. Don't worry, we're good. What covers me is I am in good standing in compliance to my university degrees and my school, and also international metaphysical ministries. So we're good. So this is for, again, it's educational, spiritual, content purposes only, metaphysical in nature, and you already know, ordained minister, one metaphysical minister, in good standing with my university, and also with my degrees, etc. Yeah. So I wanted to be sure to. Oh, but however, if you value, you come in and you like entertained, intrigued, fascinated, you're welcome. You can, like, if this is something that interests you and you're like, I just like to hear different things, different people, readings, never had a reading, but always wanted one, but I wanted to do it just to try it out. Is this safe? Yes, and yes, please. You are very welcome to drop by, and I hope that something does fascinate you, and you become even more interested, and perhaps you'll want to know more, and maybe you will start your own personal journey. Maybe you're already on a journey, or maybe you just like to come in and just experience something different. Please The door is always open. The light's green. We'll welcome you, okay? So that is the disclaimer. Just wanted to be sure to include that this time.